But we are beginning with our comprehensive coverage of day 2 of jury selection in James Crumbley's involuntary manslaughter trial. James Crumbley is the father of the Oxford High School shooter. We know thousands of you watched along with us streaming here on Local 4 Plus and clickondetroit.com for Jennifer Crumbley's trial just about a month ago when she was convicted on all 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Now it is James's turn, and we are in day 2 of jury selection. We have had probably like a 10-minute by 10-minute breakdown of all of the back and forth that's been going on when they are interviewing prospective jurors at the Oakland County Courthouse in Pontiac. So let's check in now with Shawn Ley. He is the one who is relaying all the information for us. He gets to sit inside the courtroom for us. Now he's popped outside to give us an update on where we are right now. Hey, Shawn.
Been a very active morning again inside, Christy. And again, you've explained really well why no cameras in the courtroom. This is jury selection. There are no names of these jurors. They're marked by their number. 308 jurors, potential jurors, were called here yesterday. That number is getting lower as they release some people here, but no names, and they want to protect their identity, and that's part of the whole process here. So no cameras, but Christy, the moment the jury is seated and sworn in, our camera will be in there. We'll be on Local 4 Plus, Local 4. We'll be able to watch this trial just like we did the Jennifer Crumbley trial. We're covering this. Why? This has only happened one other time before, a few weeks ago, holding a parent accountable for a mass shooting, in this case, the Oxford school shooter. So everyone wants to know, are we any closer to seating a jury? I can tell you, not being an attorney, but the answer is yes, because a core group of jurors have been seated in the jury box. They have been questioned. Some of them have been let go, replaced by other jurors. So the long process of now interviewing those jurors. The prosecution asks questions of the juror. We get to know them. The defense attorney gets to ask questions of the juror. The judge, she may ask the most questions in this case, trying to find people who can be fair and impartial. Judge this case not on emotion, since it's such a tragedy, the Oxford school shooting, and those 4 young lives taken, and the people who were traumatized and injured. And they want to cut emotion away and just look at the evidence as it applies to James Crumbley. So James Crumbley, the parent of the Oxford school shooter, he is facing the same charges as his wife, the involuntary manslaughter charges for the 4 lives lost. And this will be a different trial, but the list of witnesses very similar, and some of the evidence will be different because James Crumbley had different roles here in the household of the Crumbley household, at the school, involved in his son's life, buying the gun for him, not securing the gun allegedly, but that's been proven in the first trial, Christy. So little by little, we're getting close. But here, when you feel like they're getting closer, Christy, here's one. Finding people who don't know about the case, well, everyone says, yeah, I'm aware of it. Of course, the shooting, and some people paid attention to the first trial. One woman said she has no TV. She did not know about the shooting, and she does not look at the news, and she doesn't know about James or Jennifer Crumbley, but she was let go off the jury. So you never know what's going to happen. The careful process of finding just the right mix of people that will be a fair jury.
Yeah, and Shawn, I think it was interesting, too. You're able to give us so much detail. There's a lot of people who are gun owners themselves. A lot of people have interfaced with
right.
crime, and it all comes into what their opinions could be and what their history is when they have to sit down and look at evidence. Give us a sense of how many prospective jurors are now sitting in the courtroom along with you as you watch this process.
There's 15 in the juror box, and when they let someone go, they replace them with someone who is in the gallery. So there's about 50 people in the gallery. Just like the Jennifer Crumbley trial, that number gets a little less, a little fewer as they let people go and replace people. Next door in the courtroom, there are many more prospective jurors who are called for jury duty. Probably fewer than 200 in that room right now. So as they kind of reduce, they bring more in, and it's just that process of questioning someone. And it's interesting, Christy, because people are nervous talking to the judge or having a row of media in there watching them, but there are no cameras. But people are doing an excellent job of just communicating their feelings and thoughts and being very honest about the process. One young guy, very thoughtful, he went through about 25 minutes of questioning. And then at the very end, they said, would you be a good juror? And he said, no, emotion would it would be too much. And they let him go. And another guy jumped in who was in his seat all day yesterday. He answered so many questions. And he kind of jumped in today and said, I forgot to tell you guys, I work with a lot of people who are connected to Oxford High School. He said, even though they're not supposed to know him on the jury, they'll find out. It's going to be difficult and emotional. The judge and prosecutor said, we're glad you told us that. And they let him go.
Yeah, I mean, those are the things they have to take into consideration. All right, Shawn, we're going to let you get back into the courtroom so you can continue to give us those updates. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you a little bit later.